welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I know it's been too long since I've done movie reviews. With the holidays and family visiting our home, I haven't even had time to watch movies, let alone make the reviews. But I'm back. I hope you missed me. All right, on to the movie review. This film is called The Spine of Night, and it is currently available on video on demand. It's rated R, and it's an hour and 33 minutes. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell where I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer some serious tips for parents and themes worth talking about and movie recommendations for some other movies that I think that you'll really enjoy if you like this one. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm getting ahead of myself. In a nutshell, so a press screener was offered to me for consideration for an Oscar contender for this film. I was flattered and started watching the film without knowing anything about it. Big mistake. The studio calls this a dark horse and a unique palate cleanser from child-focused content. They're hoping that this can be an Oscar contender for Best Animation of 2021. This is going to be a hard sell, I think. The film is definitely not appropriate for children and really hard to have this film compete against family-friendly animations, which we generally think of for that category. This film will even be too much for many adults. It's definitely not my cup of tea. And honestly, I couldn't even watch it for very long. And I recognize that I'm definitely not the target audience for this film. I've never actually released a movie review for a film that I haven't fully watched. However, there's a first time for everything. But also, I think I was able to watch enough to give you a taste of what this film is all about to help you decide if you want to spend your time and money watching this. It is an ultra-violent, visceral, adult dark fantasy set in a land of magic and horror. It follows heroes from different eras and cultures battling against a malevolent force that unleashes suffering on mankind. The storytelling and style of the design are really its own genre and something that hasn't been made or really seen since the 1970s. Some people are very excited about that. The film is written and directed by both Philip Gillette and Morgan Galen King. Now, there were some things that I liked. First of all, you'll recognize some of the voiceover talent like Lucy Lawless, Patton Oswalt, Richard E. Grant, Betty Gabriel, Abby Savage, Rob McClure, and Joe Manganiello. Joe Manganiello has voiced his appreciation for the game Dungeons and Dragons. I mentioned that because I heard another reviewer say that fans of Dungeons and Dragons will probably enjoy this type of movie. Some viewers have criticized the style of animation, and it's actually called rotoscope. I haven't actually seen very many films that use rotoscope animation. Rotoscoping is a technique that involves tracing over motion picture footage frame by frame with the attempt of making it more realistic. It's often used in animation fantasy and has been popular in the cult classic works of animators Ralph Bakshi and Frank Frazetta. The animation of landscapes and sky are just beautiful, I thought. Unfortunately, the human designs look really unsophisticated in comparison, and so the two didn't feel like they belonged together, but maybe that's just me. There were a lot of things I didn't like about the movie. There are some very overly dramatic voiceovers, and the movie poster has all the right colors for high fantasy, yet I felt like it was confusing and didn't really tell you what to expect, which is what a movie poster should do. It should get you excited and compel you to want to know more. Whereas I was just kind of confused and looked at it like, I don't know what's happening. Now, let me give you some very strong warnings and tips for parents. Although this is an animated film, it is definitely not appropriate for children. There are fully naked animated women throughout the entire film. Bloody, gory, barbaric, and detailed violence. There's also inappropriate sexual content and language. So this is not a family-friendly animation. The themes that I think the movie did illustrate well are greed, power, magic, corruption, time, and suffering. Now, I always mention funny lines and interesting lines so that you can kind of get a taste for the movie, but there really weren't any funny lines worth writing down. This is really a serious drama. But there was an interesting line, and I think it's kind of the overarching theme of the movie. It's spoken by Lucy Lawless, who voices this character who says, "It's too late to change what happened, but not too late to change what will be." And that was my big takeaway. So ultimately, my movie review mom grade for me and my particular taste would be an F. Not something that I enjoyed watching. In fact, it was very difficult to watch. And ultimately, I just turned it off and I was like, okay, I've seen enough. However, I recognize that this fills a gap in animation for adult fantasy animation. And I know that there will be people very excited about it. For that, I'm going to give it a B plus. All right, now let me give you a couple of recommendations for some other films that have been stated as being somewhat similar. In other words, if you do like this movie, then you're probably also going to like Fire and Ice. Another one in terms of style and story, well, not style because it's not animation, it's live action with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the old classic Conan the Barbarian. All right, that's it for my review. I hope that if you watch this movie that you enjoy it. And if I've given you fair warning and you're grateful, comment down below. Because I just sort of stumbled into this realizing this is not my type of movie. And I don't want you to pay and be disappointed. So I'm giving you the heads up. All right, that's it for my review. I hope you have a great day and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.